My name is Heinrich Hafeni. I'm your Director of Ceremonies today. Firstly, before I proceed, I want to recognize our distinguished guests, part of the Namibian nation. I see present here today our great governor of the mighty Erongo region, the international region of tourism and mining. Thank you, Honorable Governor Neville Andre Tope, for gracing us this morning. It's such a big support that the National Heritage Week is receiving from our top leadership of the region. Her Worship, the Mayor of the great city of Swakopmund, Mayor Louisa Kativa, present with us to open us the door to start celebrating this beautiful Heritage Week. We appreciate your presence today, this morning, Her Worship the Mayor. We know that it's because of you that our beautiful Swakopmund and Erongo region will become a shining destination for culture and heritage. Also present here today, we have also our constituency Swakopmund councillor, the vibrant, I think she's in absentia or she's on her way, Madam Ciske Howard. She will be also joining us according to the program, and we're looking forward to having her as she's also happened to be the chairperson of the Erongo region council. We also have in our midst Madam Nancy Garoes, who is Miss Swakopmund Municipality. Thank you very much for your grace, Madam. We also have in our midst Mrs. Ernfriede Stephanus, the Director of Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture in the Erongo region, present with us. Thank you so much. What a great to have you in our midst and to hold hands with us as we make sure that our beautiful country, beautiful stories told by a great heroine like you. We also have in our midst Madam Nadine Phiri, who is the curator of the Swakopmund Museum. Okay, all protocol observed. We also have in our midst Madam Ciske Howard Smith. I said the vibrant leadership of the mighty Erongo region in our midst. Thank you so much for gracing us. We are so honored. Thank you, Madam Constituency Councillor. You all know your leaders there, and I think it's also as part of a culture and heritage, we need to know all our leaders in our community. Me, I'm just the Director of Ceremony. That's my title. So, without further ado, I want to welcome, because my job is just to be able to direct and follow the proceedings as given to me. And also, I want to first, before I go, the objectives. I want to just outline the objective of the National Heritage Week. Is to celebrate Namibia's rich and diverse heritage, to promote, safeguard, and protection of all cultural heritages in Namibia, irrespective of their religious or ethnic identity, to recognize that all forms of cultural heritage in Namibia are valued as equal in importance to promote understanding across diverse communities of communal value and heritage, to recognize that the holdings of cultural repositories are also located of the tangible expression of human history, to preserve knowledge and indigenous communities in Namibia, to develop, maintain, and support wide network and contracts and partners dedicated to preservation of cultural heritage through effective practices. Without further ado, my counterparts and my dignitaries here will contribute later. I want to call up now Her Worship of the great, beautiful tourism international city of Swakopmund, Her Worship Madam Louisa Kativa, to come and officially welcome remarks. I thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you. I don't have any much to say, but I just want to say something on this morning. You can see me. I say, let me put on my culture also. Today, I have two different culture now, but yeah, I hope my parents, they won't whip me to say why you put only this one and what about mine. So this one, morning time, afternoon, I will put also for my father's side. I don't want anyone to complain. Jamaica political activities, Marcus Garvey once said, people without the knowledge of their past history, regiment and culture is like a tree without roots. This initiative is like this warm my heart because they teach and remind us about who we are and where we come from. In Feshene is the trees that bind us together. The like of the Heritage Week are the fundamental needless we need to weave us even closer together. This is a special vital in these trying times where we have lost greater and be in disrespect. Ladies and gentlemen, at this official opening, I want to stress the importance of the reintroducing ourselves to our roots and celebrating our uniqueness on a daily basis. Because it is only when you know yourself that you can understand and respect what and who is around us. I encourage you to learn more and curious about the culture outside of your own. Ask question about the Oderera. Who's wearing Oderera here? Somewhere, madam. Can you stand some people to see what is Oderera? Yeah, thank you. And learn about Ochidumba. I hope Ochidumba, Miss Ernfriede Stephanus, take over and tell people what is Ochidumba. Also including Olondao. Olondao depi. Kwaederera. I demote your culture. Olondao also, she will be part of it. And be cautious about Omosisi, who's serving Omosisi here from Zambezi region. Thank you very much. Chair for Omosisi. Explore it all, preface it all, it's in ours. It is no news that Namibia is a diverse country. Thought we are cut from different clothes we make up for fashionable garment. And with these few words, ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinguished honor to welcome you to this official opening of Heritage Week. And thank you very much. This word, which I start with it, from Jamaican who say, people without the knowledge of their past history. And culture is like a tree without roots. 100%. If you don't know your culture, you are lost forever. Let's not diff our culture and be emptied family people without any traditional culture, what you can say. We know all of us, we stay in town or we're different, or we meet different people or whatever, but still your culture are very important. It's where you can see people when they are lost their culture, they started to call each other different names. I can hear if people say, it's Mbwiti. What is Mbwiti? Anybody, can you come in and explain me what is Mbwiti? Eskama people, they come from maybe from far away where they was born, and they come stay here and they lost their culture, and they tend to say it's Mbwiti because he lost their culture. They can't do anything. If you ask children from even I can go to my tribe so that they can not whip me. They say Oshierero and you ask, when was your last time at the village? I'm Bashiti. I'm here going, I can't go to that day. Huh? We don't go to the village. Why? Kwaya kekerwa. Huh? Kwaya kekerwa means when you, for the tradition of the Sherero, when the child born at home, and you have your daddy, your mom, so they can say, they give you a kettle, which is belong to, it's my child, take this, the kettle is yours, the kettle is yours. So when you are not going to the village, people are asking, you'll never be given a kettle to your daddy or to your mom, or why you don't go to the village. Eh? But if you are kekerwa, you can go to the village. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, Your Worship, the Mayor of the great, beautiful tourism international city has spoken. Without your culture, you are lost, you don't have an identity. So let's follow through to that very strong message. And another hand of applause to this remarkable, beautiful woman of our beautiful community. Thank you so much, Your Worship. Your words are very powerful, and let us go back to our community. Let us go back. Let's keep our culture. Let's keep our identity. It's what makes us what Namibia we are today, because of our diversity. So thank you, Your Worship, the Mayor of the great city of Swakopmund. So the Mayor has spoken. So I want to invite one very amazing woman, the Nadine Phiri, to come and give us an overview of why we are here today. Madam Phiri, are you ready to engage your people? Thank you.
Good morning, Director of Ceremonies, Dignitaries, distinguished guests, members of the public, fellow colleagues, and last but definitely not least, the media. My name is Nadine Phiri. I'm the Curator of the Swakopmund Museum, but it was also my great privilege to be the Chairperson of the National Heritage Week team for 2021. Now, the theme for this year's Heritage Week was, or is, the fashion, the threads that bind us together. And just now, you're all allowed to laugh at me because I'm going to try to pronounce it in Setswana now. Feshene, tlhale, lomaganang. I tried. This journey proved to be quite amazing, because it taught me a lot about the rich heritage of Namibia. It's astounding how rich the diversity, the colorfulness, and the beauty of the Namibian people is. During the past week, I was often asked, what is heritage? Officially, we say it's the things that you and I find important to protect and to preserve. It can be objects, it could be a place, it could be traditions that is passed on from one generation to the next. But you know what? It also provides valuable insight into where all of us come from, because that will help us to understand where we are going. With this in mind, my awesome local heritage and culture team have prepared exciting events for you during this week. Now, let me give you a short overview. Now, please remember that most of these events will happen online. So if you don't want to miss them, and you haven't done it already, right now, please go to our social media pages under Scientific Society Swakopmund, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We have a YouTube channel as well. So please, please, please follow us. So what do we have in store for you for this week? Well, this afternoon, our amazing partners Cosdef are going to introduce a nice workshop for you, an upcycling t-shirt workshop for adults. It will happen at 2 o'clock. Again, don't miss it. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, again, Cosdef is going to do a workshop about upcycling old shopping bag for kids. And then at 2 o'clock, one of my favorite videos is going to be released about the ekipa, the history of the ekipa, why it's called such a precious jewel. If you want to know, please tune in. Then, the next day, that would then be Wednesday, we have another amazing workshop from Cosdef, which is leather accessories workshop. And then in the afternoon, another very nice traditional video is going to be released of the Ovaherero headdress, which is the Ikori. Now, do you know the traditional stories of the Ikori? Again, if you want to know, you know when to tune in. Then, the next day, we're going to take you through some of the traditional Namibian dresses, right, which is also featured right here at the museum, some of them. And then in the afternoon, I'm going to tell you an interesting story about a forgotten way of communication, which is the ostrich egg bead shell. If you want to know what the old Facebook and Twitter was like, you will have to tune in on that video too. And then on Friday morning, who remembers Captain Salvador? You don't remember Captain Salvador? You haven't been on our social media pages, eh? You better visit, because Captain Salvador is making a return. And this time, we're going on a glass bead journey. Do you know how glass beads are made? Well, there's two distinct ways. So again, if you want to know, and I hope you do, tune in. Then, in the afternoon, I'm going to take you through a photographic memory of forgotten and unique fashion. And in that video, I'm gonna kind of show you a hidden talent of mine. Let's see if you will figure it out, and you're welcome to email or message me afterwards if you have figured out my hidden talent after that, okay? And then on Saturday, we're gonna have the fashion show of Creations Made in Workshop by Cosdef. And then on Sunday, we are going to release the competition video. Yes, we had a competition going. And we had some great entries, and we can't wait to have a look and find the winner and then share all those interesting entries with all of you. And then we're gonna conclude the week on Sunday with the beautiful theme, My Dress, My Culture. So again, a fun-filled, very informative, very educational week. Please don't miss it. Please tune in on our social media pages. Do you remember which pages I mentioned? Hey, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, don't miss it. Follow. But now I kind of have a favor to ask as well. Don't just watch them. Could you please like them and share them as well? Because we would like this to really reach everyone in Namibia. Now, as a conclusion, my fellow Namibians, as we celebrate our rich heritage, take this week and consider what you and I, and yes, you, would like to preserve for your children, your story. Write it down. Why? Preserve it so that the future generations can benefit from it. Write it down so the future generations do not miss out on this beautiful heritage that the Namibian people have, especially when it comes to our traditional dresses, especially when it comes to the stories that go with it. It is my sincere wish that you will enjoy the Heritage Week with us. And now one last time, remember, follow us on our social media pages and the Scientific Society Swakopmund. Thank you very much.
Let's celebrate. You see, this is what we are. Can we continue to wear these 365 days a year? 365, I think 364 or 365. We will make Namibia so proud. We will have so many tourists coming to Namibia if we continue to keep looking like this every day. So I challenge you, and I think our Honorable Governor will be even very happy, and the Mayor, that in the constituency councillor, Madam Ciske, that we now, tourism revival, get more of our people here. They want to come to Namibia because of our cultural diversity, and if we can be able to continue to look this very beautiful and very colorful and rainbow Namibia, we will make sure Namibia is a very proud nation. Thank you very much. That's a conclusion, a contribution remark. Speaker, so shortly. I want to call up to the podium a great, remarkable woman.
Okay. I worked on the farm in Scotland, and I had the privilege to go to quite a number of functions. And this one evening we were at the Highland Cattle Show, and as you know, the Scottish are very rich in culture. And we were standing around and talking, and it was after the prize giving, and it's a festive feeling. And every now and again, you would hear a voice start up in song, somewhere within the hall that we were in. And when that one's finished, then you would hear somebody else starting up in song somewhere else again. And it was phenomenal, because it's all of these little mini, concerts that you get to see. And I thought to myself, we have such rich diversity in Namibia. I would like to bring that back to what we've got here. And as Hafeni has said, if we could all wear our traditional clothes 365 days of the year, wouldn't that be wonderful? To see where we come from, the roots that we have. We shouldn't ever be ashamed of where we come from, because it means we've got history. It means somebody did something where you could be remembered for. So I'm terribly sorry that I'm not here today in my voortrekker pakkie. I asked a friend of mine if he could make one, and he said, oh, those kappies are very complicated. So I said, never mind. But I think from this day forward, I will still have one made. And next time when you see me and the Honourable Governor, we will be in our traditional dress as well, with my complicated kappie on. And I want to say that because Namibia is such rich in diversity, we should celebrate it. Never should we be in a position where we look down on somebody else's culture, because that's their history. We must teach our children that it's okay to be called a traditional name. Steer away from the English names if you're an Oshivambu speaking person. Call your child that where he comes from. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you wear. We just had a laugh now with the wearing 365 days a month. If you look like Mr. Stephanus, we will have to make the corridors a bit bigger for the dresses to get through, because it's so beautiful. You know, I was privileged enough to grow up with a Herero lady, because I'm just a Macy from Kobabas. but a Herero lady that worked for us for many, many years, and she was really a second mother to me. Her name was Cornelia. And she would wear her traditional dress every single day. And all I ever wanted to wear was, I wanted to look like Cornelia. Because it's so beautiful and so vibrant, and it shows this culture. So make sure that when you leave here today, that we celebrate each other. Celebrate the language that you speak. Make sure that when you speak your traditional language, that you go back to the roots of it and teach your children the proper words. English is not my first language, obviously it's Afrikaans. And I'm always amazed when I meet somebody that can speak a pure Afrikaans, because it's slowly disappearing. And we must never allow our cultures and our heritage to disappear, because it's the only thing that the next generation will have to remember us by. Make sure you celebrate who you are, and teach your children to celebrate who they are, and to celebrate other cultures. Because we're so diverse in Namibia, it tends to lead to conflict. We are the people, and we are the generation that can turn that around. Turn the conflict into celebration. Respect that somebody else does something different to you, because that's the essence of who we are. So thank you to those that took the time to dress up this morning and to come here and show who you are. I want to say to Ms. Gabi Schneider, would you get up for us, please? This is what we also need to do in Namibia, is dress according to other people. Yes, and the lady next to you, please. Yes, and if you could please stand up for us as well. Sorry, I don't know all the names. You see, it's different cultures dressing in other cultures' attire. And that's what we must celebrate. And I hope when you put on the German dress this morning, you asked, what does this mean? And where does this come from? And who am I representing this morning? Because that's what we need to celebrate and say that we are different. And it's okay to be different. And celebrate that and make sure that those who come after us, that we protect the heritage. You know, in the time that I lived in the UK as well, they have such a rich history and a celebration of that history. You know, on D-Day, which was now more than, it was in 1947, I think, was D-Day. Uncle von Wittesheim, you'll have to, 45, thank you. And ever since then, they've celebrated it every single year. And the Spitfires come fly over, and everybody's celebrating it. They are celebrating their history. And that's where I want Namibia to be. Celebrate who you are, and celebrate where you come from. And don't allow anybody to tell you that you're less than them because of where you come from. Thank you very much for being here this morning. And please, may we go out here and be encouraged to wear our traditional attire every single day. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a bad Marian. So, I would really like to congratulate the Scientific Society of this topic, fashion. It wouldn't have been much more accurate at this year. Imagine last year and few months ago, how we would be told to stay at home, socialize, and wash our hands. But now, the thread that is binding us together has brought us together to this place, to this event, for us to unite and celebrate our unique culture of Namibia, not just here in Swakopmund, but as a whole nation. So, thank you, Scientific Society of Namibia, of Swakopmund, I'm sorry. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of our governor, Mr. Neville Itoba, the chairperson of Regional Council, Mr. Ciske Howard, the Director of Education, Arts and Culture, Ms. Stephanus and her worship, the mayor of this prestige town, Swakopmund, Mrs. Louisa Kativa. Again, our curator of this museum, Mrs. Nadine Phiri, invited distinguished guests and the media the members of the media present. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you in the amazing name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Good morning and welcome. My name is Nancy Garoes, like mentioned before, and I am employed by the council at the engineering department as an apron officer. But I stand to you today as Ms. Swakopmund, Namibia 2018. 2018, I've been reigning for 3 years now. That's why it's an honor for me to stand here at the first event, basically the first event after all the lockdowns. It's a sign that maybe in few more months or next year I might be able to pass my crown down to my next successor. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Namibia is a country that is blessed with a mixture of diverse resources, both natural and cultural. We are the rainbow nation, and there's always something to learn from each culture. All right? I remember a few years back, for me to wear a traditional thing was never my thing. But when I was taking part in Miss Republic of Namibia, I wore a Oshibambo dress. The dress, when I looked at it, it just caught my attention, right? It was designed in such a way that I couldn't just resist, and I wore that dress. And it was connected with fashion. It was an Oshibambo dress, but it was designed in a fashionable way. So, the word itself, fashion, attracts everyone. You understand? I am called here today to explain the role of fashion, culture, fashion, and the heritage, what it plays in our lives. As you can see, I've been influenced by fashion. What I'm wearing is supposed to be a Nama dress. But for years, I would tell my mom, "Mom, please make for me my Nama pants, because I don't like the dress down here. Make for me a pants." So that's where it all began. It's all Nama here. The design is all Nama, but down here it's a pants. So it's not a secret that fashion can really influence us, right? But culture, we should never let go of culture. Culture defines our values, our beliefs, and personal interest. We are who we are today because of our upbringings. Culture plays a huge role in shaping our identity, shapes the way we think, the way we see life, how we interact with others, shapes our mentality about certain aspects in life. All right? And the heritage is defined as something that is passed down from a preceding generation, like as in tradition. So it's always important not to let go of our culture, not to forget our heritage, and always to preserve our resources. All right? I am going to conclude and say, if you want to understand someone, you need to understand the present in context of their culture. Let's be an Ubuntu-driven nation. Ubuntu just means I am because we are. All right? In that way, we are going to make our slogan of one Namibia, one nation, more valid. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow.
Before I come to the challenge that I'm having, I totally changed my speech. I would like to cement that the role of Ministry of Education, Art and Culture cannot be underestimated. You know that previously we were known as basic education, and arts and culture were not part of us. But then 2-3 years back, arts and culture became part of education, and that is for a reason. We say charity begins at home, but it is also in schools officially that we taught our learners through their different cultures, traditions, and also heritage that are there. And I will fail in my duty as a Director of Education, Arts and Culture in Erongo region if I do not acknowledge the people on the ground who make sure that the objectives of heritage that you have put through to us are cemented and implemented in our schools. Let me call the colleagues from libraries, Ms. Thomas and Ms. Jas and their colleagues. These are the colleagues that are responsible throughout the week that our the information sharing on heritage, tradition, and cultures are showcased at the library and also at our offices. So those are the colleagues from library. And then we have the colleagues from arts and culture. Arts, first the colleagues from arts. Are they here? Yeah. They are also playing a very important role together with the colleagues from culture. Can you please just stand up a little bit? You see they are different. I can say Quina Hande to serve, and then Wapinduka Urinawa and Mire Jikwisi. They are responsible for that, and our offices for the first time when I joined the region is beautifully decorated with books and cultural items that if you enter our offices, you can see that there is something going on. This morning, we went from office to office, and I was telling the colleagues, put on your traditional wear, at least for this week. My mom was wearing that for 365 days, but I can't. And disappointing, we need to now also educate our colleagues at the office. Some of them don't have traditional ways, attire, and this is where my challenge is coming in. Did I forget someone? Adult education, arts and adult education. Where's adult education? Yeah, adult education. Yeah. Sorry, my dear. She's I will say she's our media person. You know, all the things that are happening in the towns, different towns, and under culture, they are also celebrating. You know, it's the same time that we were also celebrating adult literacy and adult, Ridastone Week. So all these things are coming together, and we are having different activities that we also use inform our adult learners outside there. Sorry, my colleague. Yeah. Where was I? I was at the challenge. Born in the dusty town of Marienda, South. You will know that Herero-speaking people were very few in Marienda. And when people from the north, my family members, will visit my mom and dad, they will normally, we are playing in front of the house, and they will pass by, driving through, looking for our house. And then at the stage, they will stop and ask, where is the house? And then we were playing in Kwekogova, Nama then. And when they entered the house, at last, then they will say, we were looking for the house, we're parking, but there are only Nama-speaking kids that are playing around here. So many people thought that I'm Kwekogova speaking because I grew up in a dominant area where Kwekogova was spoken. But thanks to my mom and dad, I should say that the heritage and culture and tradition stay instilled. Attending a wedding ceremony or funeral at Aminus or any other place where we will go to bury our families or attend a wedding, not dressing in this culture and tradition that we are having. When I prepared my speech, I was thinking, what does this theme actually mean? Fashion. But we talk about threads that bind us together. Abab or Rutheba. In our African languages, we each one have our, but the Abab and Orutheba, the thread that we are using, is binding us together. And I was thinking about, you know, we are such a colorful nation as Namibians. each one with their own tradition. I'm not going to read the speech now, but I was looking at this patchwork. I'm also doing needlework. Patchwork. It's different colored cloth pieces, orapi, las lapis. How are they brought together to give us a whole? With a thread. At the end, you will have a beautiful blanket. You will have a beautiful dress, like the colleagues there. Toch, I mean, Mamas, I'm a teacher by profession. Sorry, colleagues, that I take you long. Nee, these ones are a little bit bigger, nee? But this is what at the end, the little pieces that are put together through a thread give us a whole which is addressed. And this is how I see the Namibian nation, that we are different in colors, different in tradition, different in culture, but we are thread together by what? The love of God. Nothing else can put us together. That we see each other as a human being in the image of God. And that is what put us together as Namibians. Let's celebrate our heritage and be grateful for what we have. I thank you.
I would like from the onset to express my sincere gratitude to the local organizing committee and the scientific society for organizing this year's Heritage Week under the theme, Fashion, the thread that binds us together. And of course, Ms. Nadine said it very well in Setswana. Today, we are celebrating our national hero and our National Heritage Week. We meet here in Swakopmund to celebrate our rich cultural heritage through fashion, by displaying our different beautiful African attires to display our diversity in action. Just like the sun, or sun, the early of a Herero, Namadamara, and many African cultures wore clothing made from animal skin. With the advent of colonialization, one of the first things our people lost was our attire. The traditional dresses we are wearing today, such as the Nama dress, Damara dress, the Ovaherero dress, and Oshivambo dress, are styled after Victorian traditional fashion, with the dress being mid-length to long and formal. This flowing dresses were developed from the style of the missionaries of the 18th century, and today most of these dresses are an integral part of our respective cultures. Yet, as we meet today on this day, Heritage Day, we must ask ourselves questions whether we are preserving our heritage, whether in all that we are doing, we advance or destroy our fashions, traditions, our languages, and our customs. We need to confront the reality that by our mannerisms, our behavior, our preferred cuisines, our styles of dress, the music that we play, the steps of our dance, and the totality of our ways of living, many of us see ourselves as clones of other cultures and accidentally happen to be condemned by birthright to be Africans. We need to ask ourselves as to how many of our children proudly wear our different attires, not only during National Heritage Week, but any other day when we converge in our different cultures. How many of them can design and make these different attires? And if they do not know their traditions and customs, what are we doing to help them? Or do we just blame them and say, these young people of today? Well, on a day such as this one, we need to ask ourselves these questions. We therefore thank the government and also the other institutions such as scientific societies for always organizing activities such as these ones on this day, so that we continue reminding ourselves about our heritage. On this day, we are reminded to confront challenges our heritage is faced with every day, and ensure that we bring to a halt the erosion and destruction of our traditions and beliefs. This is necessary because if, as Africans, we are to claim the 21st century for ourselves, we have a duty to preserve our traditions and heritage. We have an ever-changing world that is brought about by globalization. But as the world is changing, we must adapt to the changes and ensure that our heritage is relevant in the ever-changing world. I therefore believe that our indigenous knowledge systems still have a big role to play in solving many of the problems the world is facing today. We are fortunate that our education system here in Namibia has an element of heritage in the syllabus, but we still have more room to improve. Namibia is fortunate to have diverse cultures, but this uniqueness must unite us as people, and we must learn from each other's culture, as was mentioned also, because we are strong as Africans, and because of the notion of Ubuntu. I am standing here because of my community has given me that support. You are sitting there because the community made a contribution of who you are today. And that is what we as people also need to instill that culture. And it is also reminding us as we are celebrating Heritage Day today. With this, I wish you a happy and celebrating National Heritage Day. And I thank you.
the place of beauty, fishing and mining, Namibia's economic